rights.
Take a look at these 6 animals. Now, forget what you already know. It's probably not that hard to tell which are herbivores and which are carnivores. But how about these 2? Can you point to something that tells you which is which? Or if they're both one or the other? Or how about these 2? They're both green lizards, but only one of them is a herbivore. Can you guess? Did you know that even though lizards have varying diets, all snakes, which evolved from lizards, are carnivorous? This is a lobster, and is a carnivore. This is a lobster, and is a herbivore. But what's the difference? Well, one's green, I suppose. This little guy's green too, and he's a herbivore. But this little guy is a carnivore. In fact, the females are cannibalistic. This one's cute and shiny with little polka dots. Can you guess? He's a carnivore. This little guy isn't either. He's what's called hematophagous, and I have no idea how that's properly pronounced. But basically what it means is he feeds on blood, which makes him about as carnivorous as a vegetarian that drinks milk. Female mosquitoes need blood to generate eggs and feed their young, but they themselves, like the males, live on plant nectar and other sugar-rich substances. Onision recently made a video addressing claims that plants can feel pain. Well, this appears to be a rather elegant solution. Why not just drink nectar? Or you could eat honey like these guys. Another group that doesn't quite fit into the herbivore-carnivore dichotomy. Though honey does come from pollen, strictly speaking, pollen is, in a sense, alive, but eating it makes you no more vegetarian than imbibing the post-fellatio fluids makes you a cannibal, in which case half the internet would probably have to be shut down because cannibalism is against the law, but we're a little off topic now. Here's a nice little role reversal. There are even some plants that are carnivorous. Though I guess most of them are to some degree, it's just that the others have the good decency to wait for the animal to die and then decompose and otherwise be reformed into nutrient-rich soil. But where does this leave us? Well, if we're talking strictly behavioural, then the question is, do humans eat both meat and vegetation? To which the answer is unavoidably yes. The question Onision has risen is, are we meant to eat meat? To which his answer is no, and he lists the following 5 reasons why.
Carnivores do not cook their meat because their stomachs are actually built to consume raw meat. In the stomach of an herbivore lies 1/20th the amount of hydrochloric acid that lies in the stomach of a carnivore. Meat eaters' front teeth are all sharp, and they have no flat molar teeth for grinding. Do herbivores have claws? No. Do carnivores have claws? Yes. Carnivores don't have pores, and herbivores do.
So there it is. According to Onision, humans are not carnivore and are therefore herbivore because a true meat eater has no need to cook his meat. He has a much higher hydrochloric acid concentration. He has all sharp teeth, no molars. He has claws, and he does not have pores. Now, before we look into this, there's one more thing he has to say in his video that I would like to address.
You meat eaters have repeatedly used animals as justification for why you eat animals.
Now, I'm not totally sure what he's trying to say here, but I'd like to point out that we are animals. So I'm not sure by what other standard we can assess whether we should justify eating them. This is evident in the fact that all his justifications for not eating animals comes from animals as well. Just what the hell else are we meant to talk about? The ocean is blue, therefore we should not eat animals. Maybe I just misunderstood the claim, but whatever, let's get on to the first point. Humans have been cooking food for a very long time. The ability to create fire, a uniquely human endeavour, gave us the uniquely human ability to cook food. This offered many advantages and meant we could digest food easier and more rapidly, whilst also killing bacteria. Of course, this is not exclusively an advantage to meat, that's why we cook vegetables as well. The reason animals don't cook food is because they can't, and this is evident in the fact that they're perfectly happy to eat cooked food when we feed it to them, and enjoy the same advantages. The second point regarding hydrochloric acid I touched on in the last video, but didn't mention that the hydrochloric acid we produce is not all in our stomach. What we produce in our stomachs, while still higher than many herbivores, is only a small portion of the whole line. In fact, we produce it all along the intestine, taking advantage of the fact that our intestines are longer than in carnivores, giving the meat more time to break down. This is actually designed to break down raw meat. The process isn't really that good at cooked meat, and it tends to toxify along the way, although vegetation does the same thing when cooked. There are in fact societies that have taken advantage of this. Many Eskimo and Inuit tribes were exclusively carnivorous, the only plant life they ate being the semi-digested food that was already in the raw animals. These guys lived quite well with none of the diseases associated with high meat diet like bowel cancer and such, until white explorers came and contaminated their diet with processed food like bread, can toxify in the bowel and intestine.